What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing. I just finished up watching Murat Gassiev versus Otto Wallin, and this was a 12-rounder for the IBF Heavyweight World Title Eliminator, and this fight was Saturday, September 30th, from the Regnum Karya Hotel in Antalya, Turkey. And in this fight, Otto Wallin got the best victory of his career by far in a huge upset split decision victory over Murat Gassiev. So this was probably one of the best predictions I've ever made. Everyone online and from what I've seen in articles was picking Gassiev to stop Wallin in the mid to late rounds. And I was picking Otto Wallin to win this fight by decision and to outbox Gassiev, and that's what I thought happened, especially in the later rounds. I scored this fight 115 to 113 in favor of Otto Wallin. And the three judges had this one 115 113 twice for Wallin and a bogus 117 111 for Gassiev, which is just crazy. I think this was a very, very tough fight to score. I'm going to be 100% honest. One of the hardest fights I've had the liberty of scoring. And I really do think it could have went either way, but 117 111 Gassiev is just preposterous. I could see this fight being a draw or 7-5 either way, in my opinion. So just to break this fight down round by round in my scorecard, first round I give to Otto Wallin. He just outboxed Gassiev, was just peppering him with 1-2s and jabs, and Gassiev didn't really throw much back. Round number 2, though, was very close. Otto Wallin again was peppering, but Gassiev landed a few good shots to the body to edge him that round. Then round number 3 came along. I gave that also to Gassiev. I thought he was just landing the better, more effective shots. Even though Wallin was peppering him a bit with those 1-2s, I thought Gassiev just was landing the heavier and better, more eye-catching shots. Then in round number 4, I gave it to Otto Wallin. Wallin was just better throughout the round with some good jabs. Gassiev was aggressive with good body shots at the end, but I thought Wallin was better overall. Round number 5, it looked like Gassiev's pressure was starting to heat up, so I gave him that round. His pressure was much more effective in that round. He was pressing Wallin throughout and looked very solid. Then in the 6th round, this was the first time I've ever really seen Gassiev hurt. While he was going forward on Wallin, Wallin hit him with a perfectly placed check right hook that wobbled him back against the ropes, and Gassiev's legs were gone. He was hurt really bad in that 6th round. I thought he was going to get stopped. He was getting pressed on the ropes, hit with big shots. He was really hurt. But then he battled back in the later last 10-15 seconds of the round and landed a good hook that sort of bounced Wallin off his feet a bit. So he closed the round very good. He still lost the round because he was hurt very bad, but he closed it pretty well. Then round 7 and 8, I gave them both to Gassiev. They were very tough rounds to score and very close, but Gassiev I just thought was much more effective when it came to his power shots. But then rounds 9, 10, 11, and 12, this is what won Wallin the fight. Those late rounds. He's very, very good. And from rounds 9, 10, 11, and 12, well, let me just say this first. Round number 9, I thought it was a Wallin round. He was landing some very solid 1-2s. Gassiev was pressing but not landing clean, so I gave Wallin that round. But then rounds 10, 11, and 12 were some of the closest rounds of boxing I've had to score for making a video on this channel. They were extremely tough to score, I'm going to be honest. And round number 10 was very close, but Gassiev, again, like the 9th, he was just going forward. He would do good in the first minute, but then then Wallin would land a hook, some jabs on the outside, and would take the round. Same with rounds 11, or same with round number 11. It was just the same. Wallin would just pepper him with good shots and get through, as opposed to the earlier rounds where Gassiev would walk through him or not really get landed clean on. Those late rounds, Gassiev was getting hit clean to the forehead, getting his head knocked back with some of those jabs. So Wallin won rounds 10 and 11 in my opinion. And then the 12th and final round was a beautiful round for Otto Wallin. Boxed beautifully, landed very good shots on Gassiev. Gassiev took his foot off the gas pedal and was getting peppered with good hooks and 1-2s. And then Gassiev landed a very good overhand right on Wallin in the last 5 seconds, but it just wasn't enough, I thought. And Gassiev ended up losing the fight on my scorecard, 115-113. So yeah, this goes into question, what is next for Otto Wallin? Wallin, after that Fury performance, has been overshadowed a bit. Many people have forgotten about him, but he's back with a bang, winning a world title eliminator in a big upset. A very, very amazing win over Murat Gassiev. This should definitely propel him into the top 10 in the heavyweight division, and he'll probably take out Joe Joyce. And I'm planning on doing a heavyweight rankings at some point in the next few months. as opposed to just some predictions and reviews and whatnot and highlights. I'll try and do a heavyweight rankings video, and I'm for sure going to throw Otto Wallin in there after this outstanding victory, as opposed to putting Joe Joyce in there and taking someone like that out of the rankings. But for Otto Wallin, he's now, I believe, the number 2 contender in the IBF with this victory once they update it, because it was an eliminator. I would assume that it's for the number 2 spot, because the number 1 spot's already held by Filip Hrgović, so we could possibly see. They just said that Fury and Usyk was signed. Obviously, there's mandatories, and usually, when it comes to these guys fighting each other with all the belts, there's the sanctioning bodies like stripping guys of titles or stuff like that. So I mean, like, it's very interesting. Could possibly Otto Wallin fight Filip Hrgović for an interim title or for a vacant title, possibly, if that happens? Or could we see something else happen with Otto Wallin fight someone else for an interim title and Hrgović waits for his title shot? I mean, who knows? There could be a lot that could happen, and I think Otto Wallin's just going to wait for the next opportunity, possibly at an interim or world title. But as for Murat Gassiev, he's now 30-2. He's not even 30 years old, which is kind of interesting because he looks like he's almost in his 40s. But Gassiev, he's now 30-2, like I said before, and he's still definitely a solid fighter, but I mean, this fight just really showed what style you need to have to beat Gassiev, and that's that boxing, jabbing style. And I think for Gassiev's next few fights, he's going to be fighting low-level guys, getting easy knockouts like he was in his other fights at heavyweight. And then I think that he'll maybe have another opportunity against someone who's like top 20 ranked. So overall, Otto Wallin gets the upset decision victory over Murat Gassiev to win the IBF World Title Eliminator. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.